back to Python MC. In this section, we're going to do for loops, but this time we're going to use something called a range function. So to start off this code, I'm just going to import time. It's a module that has a special feature for counting, and I'm going to show you what that means and like working with time. So in this example, we're going to have a coach that says, okay, drop and give me 5 push-ups. And it's going to basically count 1 to 5 using a range function. So we're going to create this range function. And in this case, we're going to give it 2 arguments. We're going to say where to start and where to stop. So the pattern here, the design pattern, is 4 push-ups in range, starting with 1, going up to, but not including 6. That second argument is telling you where to stop, and you stop before you get to 6. You don't include 6. So you're going to notice we're just going to print down and then up, but we're going to use this feature in the time module called sleep. So time.sleep 1, which is just going to take a 1-second pause between each push-up. Okay, so then it's going to print up, and then it's going to say that's, then uses the push-ups variable to say whether it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Because each loop, it'll count off, and the first go around, it's going to be push-ups will equal 1. The second loop, it'll push-ups will equal 2. The third loop equal 3, then 4, then 5. So just like when we looped through a list where it goes 1 by 1, in this case it's going 1 by 1 with each loop, but instead of going through, say, a list of beats, it's just looping through a range of numbers. So Python stores in memory this range of numbers effectively, and it just generates the next number with each loop. So the first time it says, okay, here's 1. The second time it generates a 2. The third time it generates a 3. So now we're going to show you a similar example, but now we're going to count backwards. So again, we're going to import the time feature. Now we're going to commence countdown, but you'll notice we changed the range function because we're counting backwards. So we're going to say, in this case, counter, or we can choose any variable we want. So for counter in range, and the starting number is 5. The ending number is 0, so it's going backwards. And the step, so there's a third argument you can put in here, which is step. In other words, how much you're going to skip and in which direction. In this case, it's just going step 1, so it means it's going to count 1 by 1, but it's a negative number, so it's going to count backwards from 5. So starting at 5, going up to, but not including 0, so it's going to be 5. The range here starts at 5, ends at 1, and then it's negative 1, so it's going to go backwards from 5. So we're going to print counter. Then we're going to use this sleep feature, so time.sleep. 1 is the argument there, so it means it's going to pause for 1 second. And then we'll just say, it'll loop through this range function, and at the end we'll say, lift off, because, this is, it's like a rocket taking off. So it's going to loop through each one. It's just going to print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to print the next one in the loop. And next one in the range, rather. So you'll notice it's commencing countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. So what's happening each time it loops, the range function is giving it or generating the next number. The first time it gives it a 5. The second time the range function is called, it's generating a 4. The third time you call the range function, it generates a 3. So, etc. In this case, if I change it to a -2, then you notice it skips 2. So it goes 5, 3, 1. So let's play with the arguments a little bit more. Let's change this, instead of a 5, make that a 10. It's going to now count down 10, 8, 6, 4, and then lift off, because it's up to but not including 0. If I change this to a -5, then it'll start at 10, and it'll just go backwards 10, 5, liftoff. So there we go. We've shown you range function, how to use it. Now we're going to take this and we're going to break it, and we're going to throw it some arrows. So see you again on Python MC.